The Tuatara is a reptile species that is endemic to New Zealand, meaning it is found nowhere else in the world. Its evolutionary origins date back over 200 million years, making it a living fossil and the only surviving member of the ancient reptilian order Rhynchocephalia. This group once thrived during the age of the dinosaurs but became extinct elsewhere, leaving the Tuatara as the sole representative. The Tuatara's lineage is so unique that it is more closely related to extinct reptiles than to any modern lizards or snakes, even though it resembles a lizard at first glance. Historically, Tuataras were widespread across New Zealand, including both the North and South Islands. However, due to habitat destruction and the introduction of predators such as rats, their natural range has greatly diminished. Today, Tuataras are found mainly on around 30 offshore islands and a few mainland sanctuaries that are predator-free and carefully managed. These islands provide the Tuatara with the secure environments they need, often featuring coastal forests, scrublands, and rocky terrains. They tend to inhabit burrows, sometimes sharing them with seabirds such as petrels, whose presence helps regulate the temperature and humidity of the shared space. The Tuatara's habitat is generally cool and temperate, aligning with their relatively low metabolic rate and unique ability to remain active in cooler climates compared to most other reptiles. As of the most recent estimates, there are around 60,000 to 100,000 Tuataras left in the wild. The population is spread across more than 30 predator-free offshore islands and a few fenced mainland sanctuaries in New Zealand. The exact number is difficult to pinpoint because Tuataras are elusive and live in remote areas, but conservation efforts have been successful in stabilizing and even increasing some populations. Tuatara have a distinctive, prehistoric appearance that sets them apart from modern reptiles. Their coloration generally ranges from olive green to brown or gray, often with subtle patterns and speckles that help them blend into their natural surroundings. This camouflaged coloring is useful in the wild, especially among leaf litter, rocks, and burrow entrances. Some Tuataras may change color slightly with age or during different seasons, but these changes are usually not dramatic. Males tend to be slightly more vibrant than females, though both sexes appear quite muted compared to more colorful reptiles like some lizards. Tuataras have a robust, lizard-like body, but their skeletal and internal structures reveal their ancient lineage. They have a broad head, strong jaws lined with sharp, beak-like teeth, and a relatively thick, muscular tail. Unlike modern lizards, Tuataras don't shed their skin all at once. Instead, they shed it in patches. One of their most unusual features is a third eye, also known as the parietal eye, located on top of the head. It's visible in juveniles and becomes covered by scales as they age, but it's believed to help with regulating circadian rhythms and sensing light. Adult Tuataras typically reach about 50 to 60 centimeters in length, including the tail. Males are generally larger than females. In terms of weight, an adult Tuatara usually weighs between 300 to 1,200 grams, with males being heavier. Growth is slow and continues for many years, with some individuals not reaching full size until around age 30. Tuataras are also known for their exceptional longevity, often living for 60 years or more in the wild, and even up to 100 years in captivity. Tuatara have one of the longest lifespans among reptiles. In the wild, they commonly live for 60 to 80 years, but under ideal conditions, especially in captivity, they can live for over 100 years. Their slow metabolism, low body temperature tolerance, and gradual growth rate all contribute to this remarkable longevity. Unlike many reptiles, Tuatara continue to grow well into their adult life, with some not reaching full maturity until they are 14 to 20 years old, and still growing slowly even after that. Because of their slow life history traits, Tuatara populations are especially vulnerable to environmental changes and introduced predators, but they are also uniquely adapted to thrive in cooler climates and stable habitats over long periods. Tuatara are generally quiet and solitary reptiles, but they are capable of making a limited range of low, raspy vocalizations, especially during social interactions or territorial disputes. These sounds are not complex or loud like those of some birds or mammals, but they serve an important purpose in communication, particularly between rival males or when a male approaches a female during the breeding season. The most common sounds produced by Tuatara are hisses and growls, which they may use to ward off intruders or signal aggression. For example, when two males encounter each other during mating season, they may engage in threat displays, puffing up, raising their crest, and letting out a hiss to assert dominance or claim territory. These warning sounds are often accompanied by body language such as head bobbing or tail twitching. Although Tuataras are not highly vocal creatures, these subtle and primitive sounds are enough for them to interact with one another in their slow-paced, largely nocturnal world. Their relatively quiet nature also reflects their ancient lineage, as their communication relies more on behavior and visual cues than complex vocalizations. Tuatara exhibit a range of fascinating behaviors that reflect their ancient heritage and adaptation to a cool, isolated environment. They are primarily nocturnal, meaning they are most active at night, though juveniles may bask in the sun during the day to regulate their body temperature. Unlike many reptiles, Tuataras can remain active at lower temperatures, sometimes below 10 degrees Celsius, making them well-suited to New Zealand's cooler climate. They are solitary creatures and tend to be territorial, especially males, who will defend their burrows and display dominance through posturing, crest raising, and sometimes short confrontations. Each Tuatara typically inhabits its own burrow, which it may dig itself or take over from seabirds. These burrows serve as both shelter and hunting grounds, allowing the Tuatara to ambush prey that comes too close. Tuataras are generally slow and deliberate. Their speed is limited compared to many modern reptiles, which is partly due to their cold-blooded physiology and preference for cool temperatures. They move with a lumbering gait and are not built for fast sprints. However, when threatened or pursuing prey at close range, they can lunge quickly in short bursts. Despite their sluggish nature, Tuataras are alert and can react swiftly when necessary. Another interesting behavior is their use of vision. Tuataras have excellent eyesight and are particularly sensitive to movement, which helps them detect prey or potential threats in low light. They also show signs of seasonal activity patterns, becoming less active in winter and more mobile during the warmer months. Overall, their behavior is marked by caution, patience, and slow rhythms, perfectly suited to their long lives and stable island habitats. Tuatara are opportunistic and patient hunters, relying on stealth and ambush rather than speed or pursuit. Their hunting patterns are largely shaped by their nocturnal lifestyle. They emerge from their burrows at night to search for food, using their keen eyesight and sensitivity to movement to detect prey. Unlike fast-moving predators, Tuatara wait quietly near the entrance of their burrows or move slowly through their territory, striking quickly when suitable prey comes within range. They use a sudden lunge and a strong bite to seize their target, often swallowing it whole. Their diet is varied and carnivorous, consisting of a wide range of invertebrates and small animals. Common prey includes insects, beetles, spiders, worms, crickets, and moths. They also eat slugs, snails, and sometimes even baby birds, bird eggs, or small lizards, especially on seabird-rich islands. Tuataras have a powerful bite and specialized teeth that are fused to their jawbones, forming sharp edges that allow them to shear through tough insect exoskeletons and other hard materials. Since their teeth do not grow back, older Tuataras with worn teeth often shift to softer prey or even scavenge carrion. Juvenile Tuataras may feed more frequently than adults, as their smaller bodies and faster metabolism require more regular nutrition. In contrast, adult Tuataras can go for days or even weeks without eating, especially in cooler months when their metabolic rate slows. This ability to eat infrequently suits their slow-paced life and isolated island habitats, where food availability can vary. Overall, their hunting behavior is quiet, methodical, and remarkably efficient for such an ancient reptile. Tuatara have one of the slowest and most unusual breeding cycles among reptiles. They become sexually mature very late, typically at around 10 to 20 years of age, depending on environmental conditions, and they breed only once every 2 to 5 years, which is rare in the reptile world. This slow reproduction rate makes them particularly vulnerable to environmental disturbances and population decline. Breeding usually occurs in the late summer months, when males compete for the attention of females through territorial displays and physical posturing. Males do not have external reproductive organs. Instead, they reproduce via a cloacal kiss, where the male and female briefly press their cloacas together to transfer sperm. This primitive method is another trait that reflects the Tuatara's ancient lineage. After mating, the female stores the sperm for several months before laying her eggs, typically in late spring or early summer. She digs a shallow nest in sandy or loose soil and lays between 5 to 20 leathery eggs. The eggs are then left to incubate in the warm soil, exposed to the ambient temperature. What makes Tuatara reproduction even more remarkable is the extremely long incubation period. The eggs take about 12 to 15 months to hatch, the longest incubation of any reptile. During this time, the temperature of the nest can influence the sex of the offspring. Warmer temperatures tend to produce males, while cooler ones result in females. This phenomenon, called temperature-dependent sex determination, is a critical factor in Tuatara conservation, especially in the face of climate change. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for even more viewing pleasure. Don't forget, like and comment. Feel free to share.